The man of the hour, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, he's just delivered his 2023 budget, his second one here in Cape Town. Thank you, Minister, for joining us. Some of the opposition parties telling me here this afternoon that nothing you said this afternoon was bold. Do you disagree with them?
No, I disagree because we may have a definition of what is bold. To take 254 billion of Eskom debt and say you're not bold, I don't know what do they mean. It's a huge risk. It requires a bold decision. So I'm just giving you that example.
Minister, but what are going to be the strings attached to that money to Eskom? Is it going to solve our energy crisis? How is it going to do that?
Our intervention is moderate from that. It does not depend on us. The rest of the stuff belongs to Eskom and the Department of Mineral Resources. Eskom has got to understand that their plants are coal and nothing else. And therefore, they've got to make sure that those coal plants are managed effectively to be able to bring capacity back. That's what Eskom has got to do. Secondly, Minister Mandasha has got to get us emergency procurement. Has got to get us emergency procurement of different technologies. I don't take this notion that it's only renewables. For now, we need every technology because our immediate task is power to the grid, energy security, than any other thing else.
Minister, you previously spoke about tough love, yet we see more money for SAA to wrap up this deal. Lots of criticism from the opposition that you're keeping the details of this deal secret. Is this the very last money?
Unless they can't read. We must tell them that if they can't read, they can some sitting. There's a full annexure, W3, which is on the budget review, which outlines all the details. If they can read, they can find them. I'm not sitting this thinking. Coming to tough life, sometimes you want to do this tough life, but there are challenges which will make it difficult to take it to the final position. Let me just give you the challenge we have. Eskom's debt of 337 billion rand is already penciled into my books by all investors, including the IMF, because I've guaranteed it. So it's a fiscal risk sitting out there. All I'm trying to say, let me manage that fiscal risk by taking that debt, because I've got no option in any event. Right? If Eskom collapses, I'm not going to pay 224 or 254, I'm going to pay 337, which I've guaranteed. So I want the tough life. The conditions will be reflecting that tough life posture in such a manner that if you don't do this, if you don't do this, if you don't meet the following decision, not only are penalties associated with the money, but also they must agree that heads must roll.
Speaking of a different kind of love, more money for the social wage, social grants, extending the COVID-19 grant by another year, not quite at a place of a basic income grant, but you did signal a warning to us earlier today. You said then you would have to come for people's taxes.
No, if South Africans want a lucrative social security system, I'm not the one to oppose it. But I'm saying we must know the associated risk with that. And that risk is that South Africans will have to pay for that risk. That's the first point. Second point is that there's already enough money sitting in different grants that we have in the system. If we want really to consolidate all of that into one basic income grant, then we may have to say we're not going to provide an indigent for water and for electricity. All of that combined is 70 billion rand. So we may have to consolidate that. We may have to take it also tax measures if we want to bump up the SRD grant to be something better.
Minister, just lastly, Friday, D-Day for South Africa, on the grey list, not on the grey list. What is your gut feeling?
Look, my gut feel, I don't know. I know FATF operates on the basis of that if you're marking a student, you don't take 80% or 90%, you want 100%. Then if you ask me, my gut feel is that I don't think we've ticked 100%. We're probably sitting at 85%, right? Which Possibly, I don't know. They may then say, guys, we're giving you the following timelines. Get your act in order.
And are you confident we would be able to get our I mean, surely you have a plan B somewhere.
Yeah, we have it.
Yes. So you would be ready to kick your plan B into action?
Yeah, we'll be able to kick our plan B into action and be able to exit on time. Because out of those 67 findings, there are roughly about 13, 15 that are outstanding.
Thank you very much for your time. Minister Enoch Godongwana here in Cape Town outside the City Hall, indulging us a little bit more, giving us some idea about the thinking behind those big announcements he made here this afternoon.